host, Kim, the Secretary General of SDG, the representative of the Ambassador of the United Republic of Tanzania, His Excellency Togolani Mavura, who is represented by Mr. Hassan, members of SDG youth who are present, as well as the youth present physically and online, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I will also again say, Annyeonghaseyo. I am learning, as I had indicated earlier in my congratulatory remarks. I am new in Korea, so I am interested in learning the Korean language so that at the end of 4 years, I will not only live with the good memories of Korea, but I hope to live with some language proficiency after 4 years. So I just allow me at this juncture to say and begin by sincerely thanking the founder and chairperson of the SDG Youth, Mr. Yoon Kim, for the invitation of this important International Youth Conference of 2024, which is organized by SDG Youth and sponsored by the Korean government as part of the celebration of the 2024 International Youth Day. This is indeed an important day designated by the United Nations to draw attention to matters affecting the youth globally. Mr. Yoon Kim visionary leadership has enabled this conference, which is a true showcase of diversity and sheer enthusiasm of youth, heeding the call to be part of the solution to the challenges facing humanity, be it climate change, unemployment, and other issues such as youth representation in governance, as well as entrepreneurship. Allow me, Mr. Kim, at this time to also say congratulations to SDG Youth for being granted special recognition and status by the Economic and Social Commission in the UN in June. I think that was June 5th. Congratulations. I also wish to acknowledge those joining us virtually, including the Kenyan SDG Chair, led by Mr. Timothy Kashuka, who has played a significant role in the realization of the SDGs in my country. Kudos. I also want at this juncture also to mention Mr. Paul Mushiri, the Youth Director for the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, who spoke to us earlier, and the UN Rep, Mr. Samuel. I just appreciate those gentlemen who joined virtually, took their time to share with Korea the Kenya experience. Thank you very much. Asanteni sana. Ladies and gentlemen, I was requested to speak on the topic educating and training for future generation, given that preparing and training for future generation is a collective responsibility. The responsibility for shaping the future lies in the hands of the current generation and the institutions and systems that support them. What future are we focusing on if we were to ask ourselves that question? According to the United Nations, there are 1.2 billion young people, that is the age between 15 to 24 years, accounting for 16% of the global population. By 2030, the number of youth is projected to grow by 7% to nearly in excess to 1.3 billion. Geographically, Africa has the youngest population in the world, with 70% of sub-Saharan Africa under the age of 30. By 2030, young Africans are expected to make up 42% of the world's youth and will account for 75% of those under the age of 35 in Africa. So this tells us, and it confirms what Mr. Mushiri was talking about, the destination to think of investment is Africa, and I was happy this afternoon to hear of projects and startups that are gearing to addressing the problems of the global south, and particularly those that are in the developing stage. There are many discussions and engagements going on matters future youth. One case in point in the recent event that is the third Summit for Democracy hosted by the government of Korea in March 2024 in Seoul under the theme Democracy for Future Generations, which brought about representatives from government, international organizations, academia, and civil society. Within UNESCO, the International Institute for Educational Planning plays a key role by providing member states with support to better plan and manage their education systems. However, UNESCO has highlighted a major paradox facing education worldwide. While global statistics show that more people than ever before are benefiting from an education, 263 million young people are still out of school. 617 million are not achieving minimum proficiency levels in writing, reading, and mathematics. And at least 750 million adults are illiterate. In addition, there are large disparities in quality, equity, and learning outcomes within and between countries. As though that was not worrying enough, a study by Ernst & Young in 2018 indicated that more than 60% of the jobs we see today in 2030 will not be in existence. And we only have about 6 years to 2030. So how can our education system prepare for 2030 and beyond in such a context? Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to share with you what we in Kenya are doing in order to obtain the fit-for-purpose education for the 21st century. In 2017, Kenya introduced a new education system labeled the competency-based curriculum, popularly referred to as the CBC, to replace what was traditionally the 844. 844 was 8 years of primary school, 4 years of secondary school, and 4 years of university. That's 844 system that was in use since 1985. Under the new education system, that is the current CBC, students go through 4-year levels. That is early learning education, basic education, secondary education, and tertiary education and training, simply referred to as the 2633 education system. So you have 2 years of early, that is kindergarten or nursery school, then you have 6 years of primary education, and then you have 3 years of junior high, and 3 years of senior education, that is senior secondary. This approach aims to promote a holistic and skill-based learning experiences for children. The CBC places a strong focus on developing competencies in learners. Competencies are practical skills, knowledge, and attitudes that students require through learning experiences, instead of solely relying on one-time assessments. The CBC also considers class-based evaluations, projects, and practical demonstrations during school year, providing a comprehensive evaluation of a student's ability. Previously, in the older system that we had since 1985, that was the 844, a one-time exam was a make or break. You did evaluation after 8 years, which determined which school you went to, and you either passed or failed. So whatever you learned in the school year was condensed into just one examination period. And one examination period is not enough to count for learning outcomes. So there was need to revise, and that is why continuous assessment is a big component of our CBC curricula. The CBC curricula offers several benefits for learners. First, it promotes a more well-rounded and holistic development for learners. Further, the senior school level allows learners to explore different career paths, enabling them to make informed career choices based on their interests and aptitudes. So as the student or the learner is going through the education system, starting from lower primary, the teacher is able to determine or to tease out what are the competencies or the aptitude the learner has and encourage those aptitudes. Therefore, by the time the learner gets to secondary school, the child will have determined the kind of career path they wish to take. So the government has offered and is making arrangements to therefore provide for technical level, professional career paths, and also the academic traditional paths that are known to exist. Meaning there is no wastage. Nobody is without value in the education system, and everybody learns as they move. Secondly, CBC also reduces the reliance on high-stakes examinations and focuses more on continuous assessment, reducing examination-related stress for learners, also with a focus on practical skills and competencies. Learners are better equipped for real-world challenges and career demands. In addition, the CBC recognizes that students have unique learning styles and paces, allowing for more personalized learning experiences. We all in education have recognized that all learners are unique. Learners are not the same. Therefore, standardized exams are not a mark of your learning competences. Rather, they are just a standardization examination. This means the cutthroat one-time exam. I don't know, I'm not very familiar with the Korean system now as it is, but for us in Kenya, we had that stressful examination period where it was a do or die. You either pass or you fail. And a fail, it means that you are a failure in life, which is not the case, because your learning and your stay in school must count for something. You surely cannot go through an education system for 6 years and come out empty. The experiences that a learner makes counts for something. Therefore, we have reevaluated in Kenya to make those experiences count by doing continuous assessment within the school year and factoring it as a total outcome of the end of system. Therefore, enabling the education system provide for your learning unique opportunities and providing for space within the education system to be able to be more productive in the country. Third, in competency-based curriculum, skills are taught, but are not taught but built. The learner is necessarily the first actor in the construction of skills. Learner-centered teaching strategies advocate for implementation of competence-based curriculum in schools, including role plays, problem solving, project, case studies, simulation, discussion, and outdoor activities. So in CBC, it is assumed that the learner is not coming to class empty. They are coming to class carrying experiences that they wish to build on. So in those who are in the education know that the empty vessel that the learner is supposed to be in the past was dismissed, because even in the school system, even in the home, even in society, the learner is speaking learning experiences. When you are at home, you are learning. When you are listening to social media, you are learning. So the child is around learning. Those experiences and those learning outcomes must count for something. So let the learner build on those experiences, and therefore the school system is supposed to provide a nurturing environment to enable this learner build on what they want and what they seek to know. And therefore each person in the class is uniquely different. Not all your 30 learners in a class will never be the same. You'll always have those who are fast, those who are slow, who like, those who don't like. But ultimately, the baseline in terms of competencies in reading, in mathematics, in writing will have been established. But at which levels the learners learn is what the CBC curriculum appreciates. Therefore, allowing those who are fast to run fast, those who are slow to go at their pace, but also derive meaning from the education system. So it is hoped that usually, and this is not in the script, whoever is translating, please pick out this. In the end result, CBC ensures that at the end of the circle, the learner will be able to be better communicators and better collaborators. So the education system seeks to produce people who can communicate and those who can collaborate. You know, the world is a smaller place now. We need to be able to live together and to function together. It is hoped that at the end of the education system, Kenyan learners will be critical thinkers and problem solvers. So they'll be able to look at their context and provide solutions to the problems they have and critically evaluate the community they are living in. It is hoped that at the end of the education system, learners will be able to be imaginative and creative. So the education system seeks to allow and nurture and ignite the creativity of the learners at whatever level, whether they're in primary school, secondary school, or the university. It is hoped that at the end of the system, you will have a human being who is creative, who is imaginative. It is also hoped that at the end of the circle, at the end of the CBC circle, Kenyan learners will be learners who will be learning, who will have the ability to learn, recognizing that learning is not only for the school system. It is a continuous process. We learn until we drop dead. So every time it is hoped that the Kenyan will be in a society where they will be able to appreciate that learning is continuous. We also hope that at the end of the education system in Kenya, our learners will also learn to appreciate themselves in terms of utilizing the digital space that exists. They should be able to be digitally savvy. They should be able to utilize digital tools to enable and to better themselves. We also hope that at the end of the circle, there will be self-efficiency by the Kenyan learner, meaning the Kenyan learner will believe in themselves as human beings who are of value in society, who will contribute valuably, and who matter in society. Ladies and gentlemen, parental engagement is a cornerstone of the Kenyan CBC approach. The curriculum acknowledges that parents are critical partners in the education journey of their children. Their involvement is pivotal in reinforcing the skills and values taught in school. This involves parents taking an active role in various aspects of their child's education, from participating in school activities to support learning at home. What the CBC curriculum realizes, education is partnership, and it is by stakeholders. There is the school, there is the learner, who is, the school is represented by the teacher, the learner represents him or herself, and the parent or the community. So it is a triangular relationship. You need the triangle to function. So parents are very central, and parents have been incorporated in strengthening the PTAs, that is the Parent Teachers Association, so that they come and appreciate what their learners are learning. They come and appreciate the challenges the learner is going through at whatever system. And we have seen recently in the Kenyan education system, where we have open days for parents to come to the university. Because the university is also a challenging place for the young person. So we have had a university that has invited parents to sit with the school tutors to discuss the future of the learner, because it is in partnership that we make decisions. It is in collaborations that we reason together. And remember, in most cases, it is the parents who are paying the tuition fee. So they are key stakeholders in this education. So they must be heard, they must participate. As the young person is making a decision, let also the parents also be able to guide and hold the hand of the young person. So that is what we envisage under the CBC curriculum in Kenya. Sustainable development, goal number 4, advocates for quality and equitable education by 2030. And for this to be realized, improving the quality of teachers is a prerequisite. Competent-based curriculum such as CBC rely on creativity, technical and pedagogical latitude of the teacher to come up with more engaging learning experiences that will enable learners to grasp concepts and skills better. For CBC to function in Kenya, we have realized that the teacher must be really, really creative. Because if you are teaching in a class and realizing that all your 20 students or all your 30 students or even your 300 if you are in a university setup are not the same, you must be creative in terms of delivery, you must be creative in terms of pace, you must be creative in terms of content selection. So it is calling for tutors, it is calling for teachers and instructors to be really, really creative, to be learner-centered in their delivery and in their approach of delivery, so that the uniqueness of competency-based curriculum is really realized. So it is really calling for us in Kenya to look at how we are training the teachers. We have found that there is need to retool the teacher. The teacher now must go for in-service to be able to cope with this new challenge, knowing that the world is evolving very fast. There are very many changes that occur globally. The teacher must also reskill. The teacher must also be retrained. Recognizing that the learner of today, you young people, are more technologically savvy and are also have access to information 24/7. So the teacher must be on their feet. So it is our prayer that at the end of the circle, we will be able to provide a learner who is able to function in the 21st century, who is able to take Kenya towards the vision of being the middle class, middle level, industrial developed country in Africa. And we want to walk that journey with our young people because they are the future of Kenya. They are the ones who will lead Kenya to that direction. And in recognizing that, we are aware that there will be many more challenges other than the teachers. There are issues of finances in terms of financing the education system. It is now under implementation. It is about 7 years down the road since we implemented it. So we are yet to see the outcomes. We also realize there is demand on infrastructure because it means retooling of schools. Schools must change from what we had traditionally to what we envisage to have. So those challenges are there, but Korean youth, people of this world, we are taking the challenge in stride. We hope that we will deliver for the people of Kenya as a government, as well as to make the world a better place by producing youth who are functional, who can participate in contributing to the development of the world through the SDGs and even beyond. Thank you very much. Kamsahamnida.